All right, we're going to keep this one short.
For some reason, I just could not stop watching the Tron Legacy movie, just as like a go-to-sleep movie or, in the background.
Oh, after our Dude Bros Rewind?
After we did Ares again, the review of that one, that dumpster fire,
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I think it's up to 66 million worldwide or something. Yeah, they're doing great.
I saw a little clip where it was Jared Leto walking into a theater on the premiere of that, and needless to say, the theater was not packed.
Oh.
And you could tell he was definitely expecting it to be packed. If I can get that video without being copyrighted or anything, we'll put that up there. But it was much amused.
But that was a fun moment, yeah.
Anyway, didn't mean to distract. Continue.
Well, like I said, I've watched the movie probably 8 or 10 times now. Since then, it's been a little while. But anyway, and I'm so sold in that Legacy was such a good movie. It really was. I just wish I could have been, hadn't have missed the actual.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh, it is so good. And the soundtrack is one of the things that makes it so good. And knowing, Daft Punk did it and all that, I really didn't really know who Daft Punk was, but I've heard their stuff before, kind of deal. I've heard their beats or here and there, but I had no idea it was them that did it. So I was pissed off because 9 Inch Nails did the soundtrack for Ares, and it was obviously nowhere near the quality of Legacy soundtrack.
It was noise.
It was lots of noise. But I looked and I was like, why didn't they let Daft Punk do? I know that GB had said that they'd split up, and I never really looked into why. Well, I did, and they split up in 2023, and there was a whole big deal about why they were splitting up, and I didn't know that was such a big deal when they split up. And I just, seeing the stuff, them talking about AI and, the human-robot relation, and there's a reason they always had the persona and blah, 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 blah. So it was very interesting because they went from...
Why don't you give a brief overview for our audience that might not be privy to it?
On which part?
Well, just say the beliefs that caused the...
Well, from what I've gathered in my, scrolling along here and there, was that AI had kind of crossed over into reality, I guess we'll say, and the project that they were doing was done because their whole experiment was, the robot-human relations, this, that, just stuff like that, and they abruptly stopped in 2023 because they said that the experiment was done. So I think if you were to pull on that thread, there's a lot there. And I'm going to be looking into it much further.
Could just be some audiophiles did a lot of acid,
Well, it was interesting seeing some of the stuff they made because I looked back at some of their older videos, we'll say, and knowing that they have full videos with their music and some of the videos, what the videos were of, there was one where it was like,
the faster, stronger
yes,
one.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
It's very revealing if you want to look at it like that. It's certainly an interesting concept.
Me watching that video for the first time, knowing that it's 20 years old at this point.
And you're seeing that at this age.
And I'm going, wow, they made that then. You know what I'm saying? So it was...
I heard that in John Madden's voice.
It was just it just made me want to look further into the group. So, and I will be, but the music.
Report back with your findings.
Well, we tend to be doing this for a while, so I will come back with some more information. But I think maybe you already knew a lot about Daft Punk and far as their product and all that kind of stuff.
I was a very young script kiddie. I was one of the people who got to experience so that. We've gone through different iterations of the internet, Web 2.0, where we are now. So I got to experience what is considered the golden age, we'll say, where there was a lot more access, a lot more freedom.
Right.
And if you were a intelligent and motivated young man, you could really poke around and learn a lot of stuff. Figure out how to do a lot of cool things and then just be exposed to a lot. And then with being exposed to a lot, obviously, comes access to the whole range of culture, and Daft Punk was certainly at the peak of pop culture, for internet pop culture, for sure, for a period of time there. And they popped up on my radar. There was the skit that the two girls did for, it was like a high school talent show or a college talent show, with the boxes on their head and dancing and the words and all that. And that was one of the first like viral videos. That was old, back in the old times, and that was cool. That was a lot of work to get that, and you gotta get that coordination. It was very cool. Just spiraled from there.
Yeah.
But point being, in addition to that, I saw a whole range of every other type of thing out there. And we've talked about the Weezer Pork and Beans music video before, and it's just
classic.
Every person that was shoved in there, every act, every character, whatever word you want to attach to it, was something that I could immediately recognize because I had at some point been exposed to all of this and had seen all this. So I think that was very well done, for one. But it does kind of start a good thought experiment where to make the equivalent of today, because you got to think, those were all the internet celebrities, the podcasters, the Instagram stars, whatever, those equivalents of the time. So just the financial commitment to make that happen today for all that. Because think that you got all these prima donnas that would be.
They're going to get paid to be in that video.
Yeah, I don't think you could produce that music video. I think it would be too expensive unless you would get them to all like do it for charity or make it a gag where they all do it for free right off their thing. But it's just, that's a probably will never happen again type thing, to aggregate that amount of, I don't want to say talent, because they all got their thing or whatever.
Viral,
Yeah, but that level of celebrity, we'll say, to aggregate as one thing and a common creative goal that's...
Well, it's like kind of the Tropical Thunder deal. It's real hard to get that many people to put their egos aside, come in and just do this thing real fast, I agree with you. And I think the last golden moment of that was Tropical Thunder.
I'm sure there has been something, it's just not immediately popping in my mind.
That's my favorite anyway.
I think you could try to argue that with maybe the Marvel movies, the Avengers, all that stuff, but I really don't think that's the case, because there's not an ego forfeiture there. There's very much this person with their agenda here. Maybe these people have some chemistry and you can tell that they're mutually supportive and all that, but this person is clearly ego driven here, and this person clearly doesn't like this person, and you just...
Yeah, I remember that Rhodey was somebody else in the first movie, and then a different guy in the second one, and it was because somebody needed a bigger paycheck. And...
No. Kazam wasn't real.
I seen it. I watched it. It's real.
I think I have it.
It's on tape. I promise. Wow. Anyway, Daft Punk. What a treasure.
Indeed. I kind of want to go with Shazam now. Let's pull that out. Yeah. So you're familiar with the whole Mandela effect, and
sure.
It's really interesting if you get someone who hasn't really been exposed to that concept, and then you're just like, hey, well, what about Fruit of the Loom? What do you remember? Was it Berenstein? What do you remember? And then you just see him, and then you're like, well, hold on, and then you show them something.
Pillsbury Doughboy, was it white? Was it blue?
And then they're like, oh, what? And then you see them go through that. Well, if you're somebody who just scrolls all declassified documents and looks at projects that were just dumped and are open for anyone to freely look at, the whole concept of the Mandela effect was actually a psychological experiment conducted by the United States government in the 1970s onwards, and they purposely interacted with corporations to put stuff in certain areas and not in others, and then absolutely. And it's all documented for you.
A PSYOP? What's a PSYOP?
But think about that. If the government is willing to manipulate the literal reality and foundation of its populace on such a wide level for something benign, I wonder if they could do it for something else. Yeah, we might be going too far with this. Might have to actually edit that out.
Yeah.
But Mandela effect, cool stuff.
Yeah, neato.
So, I definitely have had argument, younger you know, obviously, arguments, different people, different times about that. And it really is interesting to see some people just, I don't know. It's interesting to see people say something and then see something and then change what they say because they saw something.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, but that's not what you just said. Well,
yeah. Google.
Did you see that art museum over there in France?
Napoleon stuff got stolen.
You might have heard of it. Okay, so
7-minute heist.
well, beyond that, there actually was beyond that, there was a nice crown that Empress Eugenie, that would be Napoleon III's wife, her thing was actually broken and discarded in the street outside of it. I don't know if that was intentional or if that had somehow occurred during the heist.
So this priceless could be sold for
I'm sure the insurance company will find a price.
What could be sold for a literal lifetime's worth of money was broken and discarded in the street. That seems like there's being a message put down on that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, one might say it seems intentional. If you're pulling off that level of a heist, you would have the care to preserve the artifacts you're taking. But just some cool crown jewels, pretty stuff there. Interesting.
Emperor Napoleon. What an interesting character. I really liked reading about his time in Egypt. That was
where he went into the pyramid for a while there.
And left his guard outside, and he spent the night in there, and then came out and what did you see? What he told them after. Neat stuff.
What did he tell them?
Well, they wouldn't believe him if he told them anyway.
Well, I heard the story that's what he said on his deathbed,
Oh.
and he was going to confess it, and right when he was beginning, he said those words. Well, you wouldn't believe me when I told you anyway. And then those were his last words.
Weird.
Interesting stuff. Fun story, at least. But this theft involved a crew using a mechanical lift ladder, going right up there. I mean, passers-by, looks like some maintenance of some sort. You're not going to think twice about it. I get it.
Just fixing the lights.
Interesting stuff there. But, it's been a while since we had a good heist,
Has it? Don't they do it every day?
Oh, I'm not talking about our government.
Oh, okay. I just to be clear. 39 trillion in debt now? Who are we in debt to?
Yes. No, there's a insurmountable wall there that mathematically is impossible to disregard. But on that note, Jared Kushner, Peter Thiel, Larry Ellison, Oracle founder, big money guy there.
Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would,
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions.
And they need to wake up scared and go to bed scared. And safe means that the other person is scared.
Amazon employees are monitored and their behavior is logged. Meanwhile, in the UK, a local police department is using software to monitor the community they're meant to protect. Data analysis giants known as Palantir, whose software models are embedded in every level of society.
They all have a good plan that is sure to net some financial gains. And it involves this strip of land they call Gaza.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's going to actually turn into a haven for billionaires. It's the premise being it's going to be a city of tax-free startups with scattered server farms, tons of cheap labor, for the factories that need to go there. There'll be a lot of simple regulations is the term used for it. Ellison already put $350 million towards the plan. How the great Jared Kushner and Peter Thiel are once again visiting Israel. They're doing a lot there.
I'm not real sure where to go with that.
Okay. Well, here's a fun one for you. The Sahara. Big empty area. Not much archaeologically has been gone on there. Some proponents of farther, longer human timelines than accepted say that's one of the areas that should be explored. Well, there's been some teams that have started digging around out there. They discovered some mummies. These are 7,000-year-old mummies, but the DNA that they've extracted from there is actually not akin to what we found before, and it looks like they found yet another branch of humanity that was alive at the same time that all these other branches of humanity, making the whole Lord of the Rings historical fact kind of, not really, but interesting, right?
Well, that's a thread I've pulled on several times because, like, in accepted mainstream science, there's at least at this point in 2025 7 or 8 different species of humanoid that, look at the pygmies. That's a whole different.
So you've got the pygmies in the Congo area, one in the Australian area. You've got another that are in the northern, like north of the Baltic, all the way up through, and even some have said that those are in Ireland and Greenland too. You've got the Denisovans in Russia, Ural Mountain area, all that. Neanderthal, obviously. Homo sapiens.
You look at the Peruvian long head skeletons, and there's hundreds of those.
Oh yeah, and then now we've got the tridactyls as well that have been bedded out there. It's just
that's out there. You could literally Google those names, Google those words. Really neat stuff when you see actual people holding, a skeleton that has a long,
Well, if you want to go to that, there's all of the Smithsonian conspiracy stuff where, you got presidents, you got Jackson, Lincoln, pick a president that talked about the giants, talked about them here. You've got all, they're in the archives at the Smithsonian of these were delivered here, and then when they all keep disappearing at this, at the Smithsonian, but there's all these
The New York
accounts,
Times bit about Lincoln referencing the giant mound burials that were discovered. It wasn't in the Gettysburg Address, but it was in one of his larger speeches. And New York Times, or whatever it was called at the time, quoted him quoting the, it's just, it's all right there, and it's...
And, there's been some rumors, we'll say, that there have been U.S. military forces encountering these giants in the Middle East and have, a couple different encounters capturing or just dealing with the carcasses and all of that. You're just really make stuff. And then we've already touched on Tim Burchett, acknowledging all the deep undersea bases and all the things that, we know this is here. We don't know how many millennia but they're definitely here. And just matter of factly, I'm gonna go clean some shit out my horse's hooves.
But isn't that kind of where the society is starting to split? It's either the people that are looking at this kind of stuff, or at least questioning what they've been told forever. Here or there, something big to them, football or the moon landing, or whatever veil you want to look behind. Or it's did you see what Justin Bieber and Kim Kardashian did today or yesterday? Look at Ye had another crazy trip. That it's kind of scary that
I've seen
Kind of scary, that.
more than a handful of videos with alleged Kanye West as a homeless person or as this patient in a mental institution, and just interesting stuff. But at the end of the day, there's so much out there, like you're saying. People are just
Just
what?
Yeah.
You like that?
But that's sad, though. You know, that's the what. That's what we're getting now, and it's either the what's or please tell me more, or can you pull up an article for that, or can you pull up the picture for that? You know, that's the difference. It's just, oh, okay, and that's where you get the fucking rubber meets the road, man. It's like you pull up the picture, the article, here you go, read it, and then they either sit there, read it, and then give you the cool eyes and like, huh, okay, or it's whatever. What's for lunch?
I mean, at the end of the day, you do understand the reactions of both. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, wherever your paradigm is, you're comfortable in it.
Yeah.
Or you're mostly comfortable in it. You're more comfortable in it
than out of it.
than whatever the new thing is.
That's scary.
Yeah, so that's where it really comes down to. I mean, we already talked about geoengineering more than a few times here, but I mean, it's interesting, the places that publicly have been vocal about not allowing what we're doing here in the United States, where we're spraying heavy metals, things like that in the sky. If you go to somewhere where we don't do this, they actually spray coal ash out of their planes at night. And these are the same countries that have, you know, all the carbon emissions laws, and you have the fines or even jail time for this or that. And on the food packaging, it's starting to show the amount of your carbon footprint that these nuggets or this toothpaste cost you and all that. But we're just gonna literally spray it. But I mean,
Gotta get that.
You show people that. You can show people the videos of that. You can show people the contracts that the local municipalities are paying the corporations to do this. No, they wouldn't do that. They just said they did.
Yeah, here's the video where they signed the paper. Here's the paper they signed. Here's how much money it cost. Hey, look at this bill Congress just passed. There's a $1 billion for weather modification.
That's the thing that can get irritating to me, is I can understand if people are approached with something, they accept it, but they almost don't want to acknowledge it because maybe they feel like if it's nefarious, what can I do about it? Or it's such a big concept that it doesn't affect them, or it's too high of a concept for them to fully grasp, so they don't want to approach it. I can understand those, but when it's the people that are flat out then refuting it, it's like, well, no.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's a metaphor. Thanks for watching.